In this demo, we're going to show how you can use Turbot Guardrails to continuously ensure you're adhering to CIS recommendations at all times. We're going to specifically focus on GCP CIS version 2.0. And in a prior video, we showed how you can bring in the GCP CIS mod to assess and alert whenever you're not adhering to certain recommendations. In this video, we're going to go further and show how you can use guardrails to always enforce that you are meeting this recommendation through auto-remediation. We're going to focus on section 5 for this demo, and specifically to get started, we're going to look at section 5.2. Section 5.2 of the CIS report and recommendation here is to ensure you have uniform bucket level access enabled. And so here I have a number of buckets that aren't meeting that recommendation, and I can use guardrails just to alert on this, but I can also then put it in auto enforce mode to ensure I never have this problem again, essentially keep this report to green at all times. So I have these 5 buckets here. They have the fine grain access control, and I want to shift that to uniform. So within guardrails, I can go to the GCP storage bucket access control policy. I can set that to enforcing the uniform configuration. And once I set that policy, that's then going to be applicable across this, in this case, my Acme organization. And so that's automatically going to then update all the buckets in scope. And so as this is going to work through, if I just go here and I can refresh the screen, I can see all my buckets now are in the uniform access control config. And back in guardrails, if I refresh here, I'll start seeing that all the alarms are now flipping to green. And this one will come in a second here. And so that automatically then takes action for me. Now, that would be true against all of my current resources, whether I had one or many projects or tens or hundreds or thousands of bucket. Guardrails will work across that type of scale, even for created resources and for updated resources. And so here, if I was to create another resource, so let's just say I did a number 6, and I was to put fine grain, hit continue, hit create. Guardrails will then pick up this bucket and then will identify that the configurations were set for fine grain here, and it's going to automatically convert it to uniform. And so if we go back into the console here, we'll see that the Turbot GCP 6 bucket will come up into the controls. We'll refresh here, and now you see that bucket number 6 is not meeting that recommendation, and now Guardrails is working to fix that. So it's now going to alert mode, and then it's going to fix it in auto enforce. Back into the bucket here, refresh the screen. We'll now see that in uniform mode, and then that alarm will close for that. Now, it also works when you update resources. If I was to go in and pick on GCP bucket number 4, and I was to work on the configurations here and edit from uniform to fine grain, very similarly, Guardrails is going to pick up this change, and then it's going to alert, and then it's going to auto correct that in this configuration. You can actually see the activity. So here we'll see this flip from a control standpoint. It's already actually flipped back and forth. But if I want to see the actual activity of the resource being updated, I can view the resource activity within Guardrails. I came in here and I changed the uniform bucket access configurations. And then what happened is that then Guardrails alarmed for that access control, as well as the CIS control. It then updated the configuration, and then it closed the alarms after the CMDB was updated. And so all of this happens within seconds of detecting an issue, alerting on it, fixing the issue, updating the asset inventory again, and then closing the alarms to an OK state. And so regardless of the CIS control or one of our out-of-the-box policies, it works in the same way. You're always continuously ensuring that you're compliant to the controls that you set. This is an example on access control, but if I wanted to just take care of an entire section, so this is focusing on one particular recommendation. Guardrails also has a concept of smart folders or policy packs that are groups of policies that can define on any type of theme. And so in this case, I have a number of smart folders that will give policies to help you do auto remediation across any of the sections of the CIS report. So for example, my section 5 for storage, I have a number of guardrail policies, one of them being this access control to enforce that uniform setting. Section 5.1 is around making sure that your storage buckets aren't publicly exposed. And so here, each one of these buckets have that configuration. And Guardrails also has other policies to help you with trusted access or those IAM policy bindings against your resources. And so there's a number of policies to lock down that access, whether it's your trusted users or projects or groups or domains, or making sure the all users or the all authenticated users are allowed. And so with these policies, these are already predefined in a pack. And if I wanted to enforce this, so essentially if I wanted to take and cover the rest of my CIS controls here to make the rest of this green, I could simply apply this smart folder to my Acme organization, and it will automatically take care of the entire section for me. And so here I took these groups of policies and I attached it to my Acme organization. And so now that policy is going to be applied, and it's going to correct all of these configurations for me. It'll make the rest of this report green. So Guardrails has then already picked up that trusted access is an alarm state. And then we're going to need to see Guardrails work and then fix the rest of all these buckets at once. And now we're starting to see those controls come through and now shifting them to an okay state. Now all the CIS controls for this section are now fully green. Now there's a ton of other CIS controls that you can take as examples. You can pull down policy packs from our samples repository and then automatically then apply them to your environment. If you're interested in learning more about how you can make it green for your CIS report, please reach out to us at turbot.com/connect.